Would you like to lead this, John? There's always one. Okay. Does she know? The covered, actually, Lewis features the covered market features all the time in Lewis, but it only had a couple of previews in Morse. And one of them was Greeks bearing gifts. That was the episode where a young professor and he wasn't that young, a middle-aged professor and his wife, they couldn't have a child. So when a young woman appears from Greece with her husband's love child, she kidnaps the baby. And then the sister arrives to find out what's happened, and there's a scene in here where we see the sister and the Greek translator wandering around the market, and she gives the translator the slip. Yeah, this is an ideal place to give someone the slip. So if you're thinking of disappearing, this might be it. But one of the nice ones was, there was an episode called Absolute Convictions, and it involved 3 white-collar fraudsters, and they basically defrauded elderly people out of their savings. And one of the fraudsters was a very young, what's his name? Sean Bean. There she goes, she knows. Absolutely, young Sean Bean. And what happens is, these fraudsters, somebody starts murdering them in prison. So Morse and Lewis go along to the prison, and while they're in there, trying to figure out what's happening, there's an old elderly prisoner hovering around that Morse had put away over 20 years before. His name was Charlie Bennett, better known to our young people as Slughorn. Professor Slughorn. What's his name, folks? I always forget it. Jim Broadbent.
Yeah.
He's my friend's uncle. And when we were very young, my friend used to say, my uncle's on the telly. And now he's never off the bloody telly, is he? Okay, so Jim Broadbent plays Charlie Bennett. And he keeps hovering around in the background. So anyway, the episode, it goes on, and Charlie Bennett, Morse and Lewis are in Oxford, and they see Charlie Bennett in the street. And Morse has a blonde moment and somehow assumes that Charlie Bennett has escaped from prison. And he starts chasing him through the streets of Oxford. And they chase through the covered market. And then when they get to the vegetable stand down there, Morse goes careering into a bucket of vegetables, ends up on the floor, and Charlie Bennett, Jim Broadbent, reaches down to help him get up. And the two of them end up in Brown's Cafe having a cup of tea.